Okay, I'm back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces busting out the scene. New life is something like a dream. Back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces busting out the scene. New life is something like a dream. New life is something like a dream. New life is something like a new life is something like a dream. New life is something like a dream. I am not friendly, I came for the paper, little baby, don't get it confused. I see them paying to play, they be paying for pussy, my nigga, I'm paying my dues. They cannot see me unless I'm on TV in times when they happen to turn on the news. I am not worried about shit but the money, cause you cannot buy shit with all of them views. I've been on 10 like 4th grade, same nigga but I'm more paid. Lame niggas throwing more shade, but you know it don't faze me. I'm blowing out gas to the whole whip hazy, with a new chick cause my old bitch crazy. Just a young player that the west side made me, but how could you blame me and how could you tame me? You can't pop in that pussy, you claim you a saint. Do what they can and they hate what they ain't, but I am the greatest, that ain't for debate. Raising the stakes and I'm eating them too. Hitters on deck, what you need them to do. Fuck all that talking, I leave it to you, cause I gotta go, got a meeting at 2. Tell me why all of the shit that you saying don't never match up with that shit that you do. We mobbing and thugging, you bitching and bugging, there's nothing that we got in common. I've been out grinding and hustling, investing this paper, got tired of eating that ramen. All of my music be heat, I ain't missing a beat, I've been blessed with impeccable timing. Watch all them people who friendly, it turn into envy whenever they see that you shining. Okay, I'm back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces busting out the scene. New life is something like a dream. Back out fresh on the scene.
If you ain't talking money, then I don't wanna talk.
Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Tell them still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Then them still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Then them still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them. Treat them like jack boys, catch them slipping and slang them.
stand with my Uncle Shannon Sharp. I'm going to stand with Uncle Shay Shay on one condition. Uncle Shay Shay, no more snow bunnies after this scandal. If you cannot promise me that you will never seek the company of another snow bunny, I cannot stand with you. Uncle Shay Shay. Uncle Shay Shay. I'm standing with you, Unc. I think it's a scam. I'm standing with you, Unc. I think it's a scam. I'm standing with Uncle Shannon Sharp on this one. I'm standing with Uncle Shannon Sharp on this one. But Uncle Shay Shay, no more bunnies after this. Can somebody confirm if he's being accused by snow bunnies or Afro-Queens? Is Uncle Shannon being accused of snow bunnies or Afro-Queens? Who can confirm? Does anybody know the race of Uncle Shay Shay's accusers? Are they black or are they white? Are they black? Is this a rice bunny situation? Is this a snow bunny situation? Is this a sand bunny situation? Is this a salsa bunny situation? Teresa Double O. If you have a co-wife, you can fill out my wifey resume. Wifey resumes must come with 2 names on them. Wifey resumes must come with 2 names on them. You know my number. 215-989-9858. You know my number. 215-989-9858. Text messages only. Text messages only. Text messages only. 215-989-9858. I need to know the race of Uncle Shay Shay's accusers. Was Shannon Sharp accused by the rice? Was Shannon Sharp accused by the ice? Was Shannon Sharp accused by the snow? Was Shannon Sharp accused by the sand? Or was he accused by the salsa? I'm standing with Uncle Shannon because I don't like when black men get taken down. I got to stand by him. Yes, he's a lifetime snow bunny hopper. Yes, he's a lifetime snow bunny hopper, but that's my brother. Uncle Shannon Sharp is my brother. I'm standing with Uncle Shannon Sharp until the facts prove otherwise. I'm standing with Uncle Shannon Sharp until the facts prove otherwise.
Okay, for those who do not know, Uncle Shannon Sharp is being accused of essaying a former lover. We don't know who that would be. You know, these things happen all the time. Once you sign a new some new contracts, and rumor has it that he was signing a new podcast deal worth $100 million. Congratulations. I'll just read this to you in real quick. Former Pro Football Hall of Famer and media personality Shannon Sharp is facing a lawsuit accused of sexual assault and battery and engaged in an interracial inflection of emotional distress. The lawsuit was filed Sunday in Lawrence Clark County, Nevada. Ooh, that's my neck of the woods. And obtained by USA Today Sports. The plaintiff listed under the alias Jane Doe. She said she was, in a relationship with Shannon Sharp for nearly 2 years and began to be a rocky consensual relationship. Aren't they all? The woman, who is seeking $50 million in damages, says she met Shannon Sharp in Los Angeles gym in 2023 when she was 19 and alleged in a lawsuit that Sharp, who was currently 56 years old, sexually assaulted her twice, once in October 2024 and again in January 2025. Now, how many times have we heard this story before? How many times have we heard instances of in NBA, NFL players getting large contracts, be with their white girlfriends, and then all of a sudden, oh, he did this to me. Oh, he did that to me. Oh, he essayed me. Oh, I'm seeking compensation. I want $50 million, but we can settle out of court for $20. It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. I hope he gets it. I hope he's innocent. What I mean, he is kind of guilty by association with coming out with alleged sex tapes. But that's what happens when you date these opportunists, these women out here. So I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not gonna be too long with this because I'm not a sports fanatic like that. I just hope that the allegations are false and continuous to get your money. Just keep your mouth shut. Let your lawyer do what it do. And you pay like $100,000 for you pay more than $125,000 for your retained lawyer to speak for you. What up, Montrese? I wouldn't say shit. You better not say shit. Just keep doing what you're doing, big man, and keep getting your money. Stop fucking these white women. All right. With that being said, we're gonna continue forward from last night because we need to finish up this hypocrisy of the Carmelo Anthony put a bump on a crucifix type of a movement that white folks want to put him on. Last night was crazy. The night before was even crazier. I played the clip where Sharon Bracey was just up on a panel full of yahoos and Jake Longs. I mean, he stood his ground. He stood his ground. He stood tall. He stood tall when it came to the angry man. He stood tall when it came to, other people who just wanted to shoot him down. He was in a room. He was in a room for a pit full of snakes getting bit, but stood tall and took that shit. So I had to recommend him for that. He got his black card that day. He got his black card when he told the angry man, I'm more black. You just mad because I'm more blacker than you. That was funny. Hilarious. Hey, you know how angry man do. But we're gonna go ahead and finish up with this shit. And we're just gonna start off with the Jason Whitlock situation, where I want you to dissect this. I know this is early in the morning for you, but I just want you to dissect this. I want you to dissect this, and I want you to concentrate on who Jason Whitlock is interviewing. This was 3 or 4 days before, so apparently this Jake Long guy just got out of prison 6 months before due to some allegations, something that he had recently done. But anyway, he got out and started forming a coup de grace on this poor 17-year-old boy that is innocent under the law, is innocent until proven guilty. And his little buddy that was on top of the bus black buddy, his little Toby is what I would call him. Little Toby was dick riding for him, saying that white Americans get annihilated by all these blacks, and we must protect white America. This is what this so-called brother was saying. He was saying, please, we need to protect white America from these blacks. But this is who Jason Whitlock, Jason Fatlock, Jason Poplock is interviewing. Check it out.
Perpetrate more by propping up the love that they used to share, terrorizing the white American. So this is the type of thing where justice needs to be served. In this case, we have a killer on the loose, which you have said multiple times here. This man killed Austin Metcalf in cold blood. And there used to be sacred honor amongst men, a time where we could grieve, where the public could gather together and show up and show support for senseless violence. And they have stolen that from us. Part of the PSYOP with January 6th was to try to turn people away from exercising their God-given rights. And that's what we're doing today. We're standing up. I'm a white American. I am Jewish by bloodline, Christian by faith. And I understand that my community, there are millions of white Americans out there living in fear every day of being terrorized. Every single day I turn on my X feed and I see hundreds of videos of young black women and men attacking, gang beating, curb stomping, robbing, and terrorizing the white Americans. And I have to stand for my community, assist for what. If it were just a couple cases right there, we could, kind of chalk it up to a violent issue in America. But there is statistical data, factual data, 12 times the amount of black people robbing white people as the opposite way. That is a systemic issue that needs to be addressed and needs to be talked about for what it is. We cannot tiptoe around the issue. If we want to solve the culture of black violence in America, this violent hip-hop gang culture, we need to name it for what it is. And as a white American myself, I have so much love for my community. I am very worried about the people in my community being assaulted. I also have love for the black community, and that's why I'm not just calling out this protest and this gathering with hatred, but we have consistently said we want to uplift the black community, return the modesty, the dignity, the love that they used to share with the white community of the Martin Luther King era, where they wore suits, they went to church.
You mean when you were basically welcoming black people into your cities with heinous aggression? They had to get it. There was a time where they had to go into the back and to get into the back of the restaurant and come in from that way just to get a bite to eat. They always had to sit in the back of the bus. They always had to go into the woods to use the toilet, or they had to go to the mess hall once nobody was there to get something to eat. You talking about that America, right? You talking about the America that you're talking about the type of America. You're talking about the type of get along where I couldn't even look you in the eye. Are we talking about that type of America? We're not living in America anymore. I beg to differ. People think that just because we have jobs, we have families under certain constitutional laws that aren't really made for black people, but I digress. People say that they are, but I want you to prove to me, and I will prove to me otherwise, and I will prove to you in certain facts that your constitution is not for you. Even your Supreme Courts despise you. Yes, I said it. The Supreme Courts despises you. You have no freedom. In order for you to have freedom, you must be dumb to be free. He doesn't like the type of he just excuse me, not white America. He does not like the type of black America who stands up for themselves. That's all this is. He doesn't like the type of black America who, when you come up to the right person and you pat them upside the head and bullying them and thinking everything is okay, you're not going to get any consequences for your actions. Well, there was a particular boy who a couple weeks ago was unalived by a young man. We all know who that is. He came up at the wrong place, but at the right time. And I'm not saying that Carmelo Anthony meant to do this. No one means to do anything. You're in a better life, in a better situation. You're better. You were better off just running track, doing what you were doing. Or excuse me, you were better off just playing football and doing good and doing some work for your community. And just leaving this young man alone, leaving this young man to his devices, which he was on his phone, which police possibly have confiscated. So we will know the truth, what truly happened that day. We're only going by hearsay, but you heard this time and time again.
It had this great atmosphere about them. That is completely gone. There's a degenerate culture that is pervasive in a large majority of Black Americans, and we need to address it as white Americans and say, please stop predatorizing. And please is a nice word. We're demanding. We're making a show of strength and a love of unity, demanding in the white community, stop predatorizing white Americans. You have been brainwashed. The Black community, in by and large, not your audience, the Black conservatives that watch your program, which is an amazing program, have nothing really to do with what we're talking about. But the other, I would say, all of the people who voted for Kamala Harris, which 97% of Black women voted for Kamala Harris, and over 80% of Black men, those voters, that
97% voted for Kamala Harris. What does that tell you?
Population. I am addressing those people today. They have ingrained inside their own youth by propping up athletes, ball players, rappers, and other basically people are living for the moment, not trying to sew in any type of longevity. There is a epidemic of immediate gratification in the community. No one is willing to go to buy businesses and by and large and build into their community. As soon as one of these rappers,
well, I will say he is right and he is wrong about a couple of things. Number one, there have been various vast amount of people having their own business, built their businesses from the ground up, have made extraordinary amount of money, and have been ostracized, not only ostracized, but mob tied by white folks in various paths. True, there are 90% of rappers who make all this money, makes millions and millions of dollars, and we have no distribution, no banks, no grocery stores, no hell, no libraries for our children. I would for once like to go to a black library and the books that aren't being read be transferred to these particular libraries. That's what I would like to see in my lifetime, but apparently I won't see that because number one, we don't even like to read anymore. Everything is on Google. Everything, all you have to do is just open up your pad, open up your pad or a laptop or whatever, and just get your information from there. I like to have a physical copy of a book so I can implant in my brain my past history or my present history because it can tell your future.
Or ball players gets any money, they move out of their community and they move into the white community and they bring this degenerate culture with them, and eventually it is spreading out into the suburbs, it's spreading out into all of America. We are not safe. The white people in America are not safe right now, and we need to address and build with the black.
Wait a minute. The white people aren't safe. Well, as if we want anything. You must be talking about the Mexicans. The Mexicans must be fucking with you. The Mexicans must be fucking with you because I don't remember a time. Yes, there was a time where white people moved out of their suburbs in certain areas, and we were just too dumb enough. You were just dumb enough to even follow you wherever you went. We were right there. That's true also. But you got to also realize you moved into our communities, or you basically congregated and just copy and paste every single franchise history that there was. One of them was I forgot what the brother's name was, who was the first person to invent barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken. I gotta look that up. I gotta look up the histories of industries, a history of distributions, congregations, everywhere that was in sight that was ours. Everybody knows about Rosewood. Everybody knows about Tulsa, Oklahoma. But we had our own. We can police our own. Obviously not, because each and every single time the black man had something, a white person would get just as jealous as a man being jealous of the husband having a beautiful wife. And it's unfortunate that if we're living in such a esteemed and promising America, that we have to go through these type of situations. It's very sad and unfortunate, but hey, we got to do what we got to do, right? We got to do what we got to do. For us to survive, we have to do what we have to do. In the laws of the land, which white people own damn near the whole the United States, damn near the whole population. You think white supremacy is this flash mob? No, white supremacy is global beyond your understanding. And if I pulled up some pics, if I pulled up some stuff, everybody needs to go to my IG. If I pulled up, it's the same. It's the same name. It's just that you add a 1 to it. If you were to find stuff that I have found on the web, where white folks are truly have invented their own town and their own place where they're truly safe and they truly don't have to deal with the outside world, which they implement and caused all this chaos. They caused all this chaos. And they left us to wear ourselves out through black on black crime. It's called Willie Lynch. Black on black crime. Black man versus black woman. Young man versus old man. Old man versus young man. Right versus the left. Left versus the right. Doesn't matter. And now all of a sudden you feel threatened by us?
Community to restore peace and honor amongst the different races in America and return to e pluribus unum, out of many, one.
Jake, you're wearing a cross. You part of your survival in prison was turning to the Bible, and the racial idolatry that you're talking about, and limiting, white people. We're being attacked. I'm sitting here as a black man.
Are we not being attacked, Jason? Are we not being attacked? Do you turn on your X feed every day and see dozens and dozens of videos of white people being attacked by black people? I'm asking you a question. Do you see that or not?
Put Jake on pause. Put Jake on pause. Put Jake on pause or hold. Jake, I'm not interrupting you. I'm going to let you speak for as long as you want to speak. But I get to talk on this show too. And so what you said, there's truth to what you said, but there's also this truth. This black pagan culture that has been adopted among a mass number of black people is killing and destroying far more black people than white people. That does not excuse what's happening to black people. What white people.
I'm not here to address that today. I'm here to stand for my community today.
I got it. Put him back on pause. Let me finish my point.
The black on black violence is an epidemic.
Could we mute him for a second? I'm saying that I'm more likely to be harmed by this pagan culture, far more likely than you. And so when you have a white rally, which is unbiblical, these problems aren't defined this way in the Bible. There's a history of human beings adopting pagan cultures that are self-destructive. And so when you wear the cross and portray yourself as a Christian, but you come up with non-Christian solutions, it's disconcerting to me. And so now I will let you respond to that. Take as much time as you want.
I haven't offered any solutions here. I have not offered any solutions yet. The solution that we're looking for, the reason why this protest is happening, is we are demanding that the killer, Carmelo Anthony, is put behind bars immediately. Jason, I have a very deep connection to this issue. I spent 1,467 days as a January 6th political prisoner. I have no criminal record. I was never offered bond. I tried 3 times. They never gave me bond. I put up millions of dollars in the household property, in cash value, and I never got bond. I spent 900 days solitary confinement. There is a discrepancy, an unequal application of the law, a selective prosecution happening to white Americans right now. If the black American community can understand 60, 70 years ago what was happening to them in the down south, where the judges and the juries were being inordinate and being selective and making sure that they had no chance of justice, then you must recognize that same thing is happening to our community. The black young men that are perpetrating violence on white men and white women across this country are in a revolving door of bail. In New York City, where I am from, and now I'm living in Florida, there is a bail reform act that literally puts killers, robbers, rapists, and all of these black violent perpetrators back on the street to perpetrate more violence on a predominant amount of white people. This is insane. We need to address the issues at facial value. We can't tiptoe around this thing. We need to call, as a member of my community, now the black community, for even allowing this type of culture to pervade you guys. You need to deal with black on black violence on your own, but you also need to say, we are perpetrating violence against white people in mass. They are not safe in the country where they are the predominant race and heritage and culture. And
well, let me start with Jason Whitlock first and foremost. He obviously thinks that he can turn the situation into a, you know, you can do better. You can do better because you somehow got out of the darkness when you joined Christianity and got into the light, and now you should be a more better person than you were coming out of prison or coming out of jail. I'll stress to you, Jason Whitlock, that you are the biggest buffoon I have ever seen in my life, and you think that Christianity, should we go into the dark, the dark side of Christianity? Let me just put it this way: the Ku Klux Klan are Christians. Oops. The Ku Klux Klan believe in Christianity. The Ku Klux Klan, as a matter of fact, are the ones who created your dictionaries. And honestly, put in what white stands for, what white truly means. White to them is pure and a bold of light, while dark means nigga, darky, crispy, gloomy. If even in your Bibles have changed. Your Bibles have been changed from Jesus came out of the tomb as a pale, as a new man. I'm paraphrasing. I forgot what it was. To Jesus came out of the tomb as a pail of white light. Are you kidding me? Needless to say, we have been hooked with, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. And you obviously think that you obviously are going to have me believe that these white folks is, pure and they just want to get along with us blacks. Well, I have to tell you something. You're in a long motherfucking ride. And a lot of people obviously in this century say that we don't particularly, we don't have nothing to do with it. I hate racism. I hate it. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you ever went up to these flash mobs? You ever went up to these right-wingists? You know what this guy, Jake Lake, reminds me of? Take a wild guess. Just take a wild guess. Sew it in your head. And I will get right back to you in 2 minutes.
And this is not true. We are being very, basically, the white people in America have been quiet and been very patient for a very long time. And this is the first time there's an anti-white violence rally ever in America that I can name that has no ties to KKK or anything. I'm Jewish and I love my black friends and I love you, Jason, with all my heart. You are my Christian brother. We are in the body of Christ, but it is up to you and the members, the Little Gunna and Little Ty Savage and all these rappers. They are perpetrating violence with the culture they are spreading against my people that I represent. I'm here today to make a stand. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central at Kai Kendall Stadium, the place where Metcalf's blood is still fresh on bleachers. Tomorrow in Frisco, Texas at 11 a.m., we will be praying to Jesus Christ. We will be advocating for white safety, for white people to protect themselves.
Question, real quick. What were we doing? And everybody hates going. Everybody hates going to this. Why are we gonna go back 3,000 histories ago? Why we gotta go back? Because if you don't read into your history, you're doomed to repeat a lot of shit. And not everybody likes hearing about their history. Not everybody's like, oh, I know we've been through Jim Crow, we've been through slavery. It's like, what's different from today, other than you can go to work and not be tormented at all. You cannot be tormented at all. You can go to work and have fun and talk with your white friends or whatever, sit in the lunchroom with them, joke. Ha ha! Remember what happened in that sports game a couple of months back? How was that Super Bowl? How was that WrestleMania? We go through all this and all this. We can play video games with them. But let one person spot out the wrong way. In other words, let them say something that they really shouldn't say, or let them play some rap music. Everybody loves rap music. Eminem all of a sudden spews out the N-word. It's not like he's done it before, and it causes controversy. So you have to sit there for a whole hour, mainly 2 hours, discussing racial bigotry. Oh, but why is it okay for you to say it, but Eminem can't say it? Or Third Base can't say it. Vanilla Ice can't say it. Machine Gun Kelly can't say it. I'm not saying that you don't have to. I am merely encouraging white folks to say the N-word. I am. I literally am. You are free and entitled to say whatever is on your mind. Go ahead and say it. I'm waiting on you to say it, because every consequence comes with a consequence. So please, by all means, go ahead, say it. I will say it with you. I will definitely say it with you. Just me and my bros will gather around you, and we will encourage you to just say the N-word, which you have been dying to say. Hell, it didn't stop you then. It didn't stop you then. Back in the Rosewood days, back in the Mississippi burning days, which people love to bring up, even though it was a true story. It was a true story. You got two white boys and a black boy fighting for rights of freedom of passage in the United States of America. They go down south and they get missed. They end up getting unalived. You know who got it the worst? The white folks did. Actually, I lied. The black person got it the worst. But as a traitor to your own race, oh, they got it too. Quite disgusting. Oh, the question. Do you know what Jake Long, this guy here to the left of you, reminds me of? Anybody guess so far? No, not Hitler. Hell, I forgot. Fuck. Let me 2 more. Give me 2 more minutes.
Against the violence that is being perpetrated against us. And of course, we will be addressing the issue of the violent gang culture that has basically usurped the entire Black ideology in America, and calling upon our Black brothers to stand with us and to extricate, to drive that out, to condemn that culture by and large, which I know you do, but it needs to be said, not just in a general statement. It needs to be said, the actual results of that culture.
Sorry, guys. But again, Jason Lang reminds me of Richard Spencer. Sorry it took me so long to remember that name. I want you to look up Richard Spencer. If the same white wingus, the same guy, same program. Same guy, same program. Y'all need to start looking up these white supremacists up.
Are being not just perpetrated Black on Black violence. You can look at that statistic all day. I'm here representing my community. I'm saying enough is enough. Enough Black violence on white people in America.
Jake, let me ask you another question. You've taken your identity, like you've bought into the same solution or the same identity that has helped walk Black people into this pagan culture. They take their identity from their skin color rather than taking their identity in Christ. And so when I see people like yourself basically repeating the behavior of the people that you're protesting against or calling out and calling for repentance, but you're adopting the same strategy, and I think you think you're immune from the same consequences. Black racial idolatry led to this pagan culture that is destroying Black people and undermining safety throughout America. And so when you adopt their tactics while claiming out the results of calling out the results of their tactics, that's when I have to question it. And then the last thing I'll say is where I started this show.
Yvonne, please explain to me what does that have to do with anything? Yes, of course, Black people listen to rap music. No, not all Black people listen to rap music. You can't put all black people into one category. That's just like saying that's just the same stereotypical thing to say is like Black people eat chicken and watermelon. That's a stereotypic thing to say. But I get it. I would say yes, 90% of Black people do listen to rap music. But I would never, well, you know what? I'm lying again. Because the type of rap music that is being played today, I don't listen to. It's not even hip hop anymore. It's just rap music. The type of hip hop music that I'm used to, it all made sense. This rap music today don't make no sense at all. It's the same old grab me by the pussy, smack my ass type of rap music. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm asking if all Black people, maybe America. I mean, the type of America that I'm used to, they don't listen to that shit. This America is something different. This is not our. This is not ours. Generation anymore. This is not our generation. This is not ours. This is theirs. This is like in the range of my daughter's generation and my son's. It's like I hate. It's like, I mean, I hate to be vicious, but I hate it when John Morant, you know, every time he goes up for a slam dunk or something, or he makes an incredible shot, he throws up what I call gang signs. Doesn't matter how you do it. You can do it in the form of a gun. You can do it in the form of, you know, throwing up a set. It doesn't matter. You're making millions and millions of dollars, and you are still doing this? That's why they call it YN culture. Or it's either YM or YN. I'm just going to call it YM. Young man culture. Some of us don't describe to that nonsense. And there's enough of us Gen Xers, and there's way more baby boomers that can set the record straight for this nonsense to go away. It ain't gonna go away anytime soon. And we can address our own. But this nut job, why is it your prerogative to address the Black community? Why? What purpose do you serve? You serve no purpose. Your culture did us dirty. Your culture did us, yes, I said us. Your culture did us so goddamn dirty. I don't even have to go through all this because we already know what our ancestors been through. Hell, what my mother's been through, what my father's been through, what my grandmother's been through. It hasn't been that far removed. Anyway, let's get back into it.
With what I'm concerned about, what you guys are doing tomorrow, is there's going to be some sort of conflict that their defense team is going to use to argue, we got to have a change of venue. We can't have this trial in Collin County or Denton County where this actually happened. We got to move it to Dallas County where there's a higher percentage of getting Black jurors on that jury pool, and they will go to jury nullification rather than justice. And so that's where I'm like, is this a setup? We're going to have some sort of conflict. And then the other side that I call out constantly, they're going to use that push for a different venue for the trial. It's going to actually hurt Austin Metcalf and his family.
Let me address issues, Jason. First of all, in the biblical understanding that I have from reading the Bible about a dozen times in that solitary confinement prison cell, I see that the Lord raises up people from different communities and different backgrounds to advocate for not only their community and other communities. I'm doing a dual advocacy. I'm not only advocating for white people to be protected in America, but also to fix Black culture. I'm not just, and one.
So you want to weaponize, you want to use the Bible as a tool of destruction. Oh, okay. You want to weaponize the Bible. Okay, I got you.
One way going, an extremist route. I'm saying that this is, I want to see the Black community not perpetrate Black on Black violence. If today, the result of today was that white Americans stop getting attacked, that would be great. But the job is not done there. If all of a sudden, miraculously, the Black culture stopped perpetrating violence on white Americans, but tomorrow there were still hundreds of shootings in Chicago, that's not where we're done. We're willing to stand with you to help heal and fix and engender your community to come back to American excellence, the purity and the love of Jesus Christ that is supposed to pervade to all Americans. This is a Christian country. And so, I wanted to address that in the Bible, David fought for his people. When you have to fix your own house first before you can worry about fixing other people's homes. Right now, I'm here as an advocate for my community. And second of all, Today's conversation topic is not necessarily about racism. It's about, because racism, God forbid, is illegal. It's legal in America. You're to be.
Don't fall for that. That's the same thing Richard Spencer advocated for. This is the same white ring nonsense.
But we're talking about, if white people are racist against black people, but not perpetrating acts of violence, that's a different topic. We're talking about racism in black people that is actually incurring into violence, into illegal acts of violence on Americans. And so there may be a cultural problem on both sides with a little bit of hatred for each other right now that X is pushing and whatnot, and we can address that separately. But you have to say, even if there's a cultural problem on both sides, there's only one party that is by and large attacking and actually violating the other party. And so today I'm condemning black violence. Racism and that topic is a huge Pandora's box, and we can unload it another time. I'm here to make a stand today, say no more caps, no more statistics of young white men being attacked by black people and being victimized and predatorized. We can deal with racism on another day, and truly the only one who can deal with racism is the Lord Jesus Christ, because that is a condition of the heart. We're talking about a condition of the hands here. Actual guns and triggers being pulled and knives being plunged into young white men's hearts. That is what I'm here today to condemn. That's what I'm here today to stop and to call out upon the black community. Stop attacking my people randomly. The punch out games, the knockout games.
Stop attacking your people. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? How often do blacks attack whites nowadays? Not very often. I would say not very often blacks attack whites. What reason, what purpose do we serve attacking white folks? What purpose? I would like to know. What purpose do We-On-Loc have to do with attacking a white person, unless a white person is either assaulting me, accusing me of doing something? Well, what purpose does he serve? What purpose do I serve? I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. 90% of black people don't want nothing to do with you. Maybe there's some people out there who want to rob, steal, and destroy you. That's a very, very small percentage. A very small percentage. But the rest of Black America, we got our own issues. We have our own issues in society. So I don't know what this bum is talking about. Other than that one little crazy incident that should have never happened, but yet it happened. And so now we have to deal with another situation in white America where a black man is being accused of such crime. We won't know we don't know what the true facts are until the trial commences. But you stand here today or 4 days ago stating that Black America is destroying basically white America. Get the fuck out of here.
Doing it to Asians too. We saw that during COVID. The young black men were violently attacking Asians and Indians in the grocery stores. And this is a...
Hold up. Was that us? Was that us attacking Asians? Again, what do we have to do with the majority of what's going on in the world? Why would we attack Asians? You mean the people who were internationally black? I don't know if it were Americans, but you must be talking about somebody who was international. Because it damn sure wasn't us.
problem, not just for white Americans, but I have to address it from the stance of who I am, the identity of my bloodline. Through thousands of years, I have been passed through my bloodline, my culture, my heritage, and I have to honor the people that have survived for thousands of years and say, my people, the white people in America, are done being victimized. We need to make a stand and to call it out for what it is. And so,
yeah. Let me address a couple of things. Number one, we want, as Black Americans or Black culture, want nothing to do with white people here in America other than to rebuild our communities, because of all the shambles and of all the things that have been happening in our communities today. We keep repeating the same stuff over and over again, and we're just trying to figure out how we can balance the scale once again, because we keep bringing these infiltrators in. We keep trying to integrate with some of these people. And this is the reason why we don't have reparations. One of the reasons why we don't have reparations, we keep socially integrating with one another. Which, by the way, it needs to stop. If you want something so bad, what are you willing to do to get it? I'm asking you right now. What are you willing to do to take what's yours, to take what's owed to you? You're not willing to do it because you keep integrating with everyone who don't have your best interests at heart. They keep throwing you under the bus. Well, Black people do the exact same thing. This is the reason why we need our institutions. To build your institutions, to build your own companies, to build your communities from within. And once that money circulates through your community 8 to 12 times within let's just say 10 years, which we have a long way to go. If we started today, even if it were 10 years, we would still have a long way to go. A very long way to go, but it would be a start. And then you'll start to see results. You will start to see progress, constant progress. And then you can create your own. Then you start. Pretty soon, you can create your own laws. You can create your own. You can create your own constitutions. As Dr. Claude Anderson had put it, once you have the ability to fund that money, which, like I said, it has to circulate through the community 8 to 12 times, just like Asians, just like Arabs and Mexicans and Indians and everybody else. Once you start circulating that money, then you start to create your own laws. You start to create balance. Then you can go up to so many floors, and you can own your own judges. You can create your own media. We've created our own media. There once upon a time we had thousands and thousands of radio stations. Now we have hundreds. There was once upon a time in Atlanta we had our own airports. Hell, we had BET, but he sold it to buy. But some black man that had it sold it to Viacom for millions. When we ever going to learn our lesson? You don't never sell off something. You teach your children about wealth. You teach your children about financial wealth in this country and what that will do. Maybe we need to I need to start a little mini coup. I forgot what I was gonna say yesterday because whatchamacallit was over here last night. Trish was over here last night. We were talking about finances and we were talking about first getting people to and I really hate this, but hell, everybody wants to be logical nowadays. Everybody wants to fight with their words. I'll let her command that charge because my patience is not. My patience is not one of my best virtues. Like that Sharon, what Sharon did yesterday, I don't have that type of patience. So that's why I say I give him props. I give him a hand clap. Because if that were me, I would have gone off on all these scumbum some bitches, including a couple of white boys up there. I'm like the Punisher. Y'all can be the Matt Murdochs, aka Daredevil. Sorry for the Marvel reference, but Matt Murdoch is an attorney and attorney by day, vigilante by night, but he doesn't want anybody to die, but he pulverizes people to death, but they're still alive at the end of the day and they seek justice, right? That's y'all. Y'all logical. Me, I'm the Punisher. I punish the guilt. Whatever I got to do. If I got to use that long knife, if I have to use that AR, that's what I'm gonna have to do. But I would use it unless somebody tries to harm me or my family. But in that world, yes, you will be punished by me if I'm the Punisher. But y'all are trying to turn around and try to throw Matt Murdoch my way to be more logical and have what did she say? Have comprehension skills or something like that. Which fine, I had no problems talking, but I have a limited amount of time to talk to you after. But I mean, unless we agree to disagree logically. If we could come up to a conflict, to some type of conflict resolution, then I'm down with it. I'm down. I'm game. But once you go off, I only have so much patience before I go off. And maybe that's something I need to work on. Maybe I need to work on being a Matt Murdoch or transition to being a Reed Richards and being a smart guy, right? Maybe we need to teach these kids, teach these children how to become the Reed Richards of the world and become these smart men that know science, civics, math, and animology. I wouldn't mind that at all. kids, you're going to have to instill it in them. You're going to have to instill it in these kids. You can't just throw a program at it. You can't throw a flyer at them one day and say, do this. They're going to look at you like you crazy. You got to bring them in, welcome them in. Hell, if you have to bring out the cookies and the ice cream and or whatever, then that's what you're going to have to do. But us as parents, us who have children, married or not, are going to have to find ways to build these programs, if you have them already. Going to have to lower these kids and going to have to teach these kids through summertime. Teach these kids through, most likely summertime when the kids are out of school. Summer programs, because likely everybody's going to be going their separate way. We're going on vacation, summer vacation. This should be your vacation and learning at least for 1 to 2 days about conflict resolution. And social justices. Conflict resolution and social justices. It works for me. It'll definitely work for me. But you have to have the patience. You have to have the patience, and you for damn sure have to find in you to want conflict resolution. Otherwise, we will all die. We will all die. All this going back and forth, I can't take that anymore. I can't. I literally can't take it anymore because it's just all for a click in the view. It's all for a click in the view and a money grab. But the more it happens, the more dangerous it becomes. Because now everybody is entitled to say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do, and not have any type of consequences come their way. And they all say the same thing. Well, I'm too old for this. I'm too old for this. And why you keep doing it? That's why I'm comfortable in the space that I'm in. When I see people like, say, for example, Antisocial Gamer, that's all she does is game. And she's gaining a lot of attraction because all she does is that, game. And she's getting along with everybody. You gotta find your niche. You gotta find your formula. What works for you? Because not everybody likes to get into all this mess. You got to have a strong will and you got to have a strong mindset to go through this nonsense. Conflict resolution, I see, is one of the ways we can get through this. For example, what we were talking about last night, if the cops pull you over, just go through the protocols, roll your windows down, all 4 windows, have your license ready, and have your hands on the steering wheel. Have your license, registration, and proof of insurance, and have your hands on the fucking steering wheel, and do not move. If you have weapons, tell them. Don't show them, tell them. and to cover your ass, videotape it. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but find a way to do it, to cover your ass, just in case something happens. And you got one cop that thinks he's, you know, a jumbo cop. In other words, you got a good cop and you got a bad cop. Or you might luck out and get two bad cops. But either way, good cop, bad cop, protect yourself. Videotape it. More importantly, know your laws. Have your constitutional cards with you. You don't even have your constitutional cards with you, do you? Yeah. You have to learn you don't have to have the cop search your car. Under what right do you have searching my car? And you have to tell them that right. You have to tell them under what law. Other than that, he's not gonna any other that. I mean, you're not gonna even have a choice. And if he keeps bragging on and on, tell him to call the supervisor. Have them show up. Do any and everything to protect your ass. I don't mind conflict resolution, but I also want protection under the law, since everybody is so predicated on the law, which you can use it to your advantage. Some two cops pulled this middle-aged black lady over, and they looked at her license plate. It said state property, which means she worked for the state. They immediately let her go. She didn't have to say anything. All they had to do was look at her tabs. It's like property, state-owned property, which means she worked for the state that she was in. That's one way. Man. But anyway, this Jake look long, whatever his name is, he just straight up reminds me of a Richard Spencer. But I want to play the rest of this just in case you haven't seen it. The 3 days after the fact, when they had that rally, which only 12 people showed up, which was a joke, but we don't want to count white supremacy out, even if it's one or many. White supremacy is white supremacy. Check it out. Finish this up.
You've been submitted.
I'll handle it from here.
You've been submitted, sir.
Yeah.
You're not going to make
If
us
we
back
were all,
down.
if we were all
You're
of your
back
nature,
down.
guys, listen.
You're
let me
not
say
going to
this.
say
What are we
none.
do you know who you're talking to? You don't. You don't, do you?
I'm talking to a black man.
You don't. No, you're not.
Okay.
You sit here, you talk about Trump.
But I am. You're not
Google my name and Trump. No. When you do that, my name is.
I agree with Black Males Way,
Google that.
but they're not winning right now.
You're doing,
they're becoming
what
degenerates.
you're doing
and murdering white people.
You're helping America. You're no more patriotic than I am. No way.
Where are you on
No way.
January 6th?
You've been silent, it's only gotten
Where were
worse.
you on your
You've been
silent, it's
on
worse. Did you stand for your country
So you
when they
think that
stole our
made you
vote?
patriot because you showed up there? Does that make you a patriot?
Joe
What's
Biden,
your
is,
solution?
Joe Biden is a
All you're doing is
pedophile.
condemning us. What's your
My
solution?
solution is to help people where they're weak. So we have an issue in young black males' lives across the country.
It's not
It doesn't
say that
matter.
to Jeff
Nothing's
Metcalf.
changed. Say that to Jeff Metcalf.
That is crazy. How do you have? You know what? Never mind.
Talk about it, man.
Say it.
At the end of the day, the man is asking. So let me ask you this: you got a father who's grieving, and your response is he's weak.
My father is celebrating my strength right now.
You have no idea. You'll never win the Senate. And what I'll do, I'll come to Florida and run for Senate and run as a Republican, and I'll kick your butt.
No, you lose, bro. You need 2 years of presidency in Florida.
Because this behavior is why we're in the situation where we are.
No.
We get these. Is that what it is? Okay. Well, at the end of the day, he's asked you what to do and what not to do.
Listen,
you have a right to do it or not.
You can say that's about Austin Metcalf, but we're going to continue this movement. I love somebody.
You love the thought of using Austin for T-shirts, for propaganda, and to get out here and talk about
you want to shut down a white man right now.
I'll shut you down.
You're not shutting me down.
I'm not raising money like
because I got family.
I'm not raising money like
put down anymore. No, bro, you stop. You came here to try to shut him down.
No, I can't.
The moment Carmelo Anthony had a GoFundMe, then the Metcalfs had a GoFundMe. What does that tell you?
I'm going to give him a message from a father.
And listen,
but I realize that's not his deal.
Let's be honest. You're a black man trying to shut him down.
I'm an American. First.
No, man.
I'm an American. No,
I am.
I'm an American.
I am.
That's
You're not. That's why I'm here. You want to silence him.
No.
You want to
I'm
shame
an American
him.
that
I've seen
says
it happen over and over.
You see this puppy barking for his white master? That's crazy.
It's not foolishness. You've done nothing. You have not worked on anything. It's not changed nothing. We're here to try something different to stop this.
So what's the difference?
The difference is we're actually coming out here with courage.
Saying what?
You just want to silence people.
No.
Saying that white people can't be put down anymore.
I listened to you. For 2 hours.
Yeah.
It wasn't substance.
And you were raging.
You had more people.
You were raging.
To the
what substance is then? What's
one dead, the 17. Another one who's in jail.
He's a murderer.
You had
it happens all the time.
Who's been
He's homing Cheetos. We tried your way. It happens again and again and again and again and again. It doesn't stop.
At the other day is this. You probably bought that hat for me. Those flags, I probably sold you those flags.
You're not a Trumper, brother. You're not a Trumper. I understand what being a Make America Great Again patriot means. And it means addressing.
What does it mean?
It means addressing issues without being a pussyfoot around it. Don't tap dance around the issues. Address it. Black people are killing white people in this country, and it needs to stop.
Yeah.
We are being predatorized in our own country. We are being predatorized in our own country, and it's a weakness from Jeff Metcalf and people like you that is continuing the culture. Condemn Carmelo Anthony. Condemn. Why are you confronting me? What if you call Jeff Metcalf and say there's a young black man with a Carmelo Anthony jersey on parading his son's death? When I'm standing strong against the murderer.
My name is Trump. Since you say I'm
standing strong against the murderer.
I want you to learn. I know.
President Trump pardoned
you. It doesn't matter, guys.
President Trump, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
No,
President Trump,
you probably shouldn't have got pardoned.
You're not President Trump.
No, I'm a man.
You're not a man. You're not Trump before then.
So the problem is
not get due process. You're not getting him pardoned.
Here's the problem right here. You all follow a man off the cliff. I'm a man. I will call anybody
Donald
wrong.
Trump did not make that stand. You won't call him wrong.
Who won't?
You just want
when Trump is wrong, I'll call Trump wrong.
I racial tribalist. I see right through this.
Like, seriously.
Was it wrong for me to tell that woman to be quiet? No. It was wrong for her to spray you with that mace.
All right, so me standing up for what I believe and getting sprayed for it.
And that she's wrong, so hopefully you press charges and she's prosecuted.
So is Donald Trump wrong for pardoning me in the January 6th?
I don't know your role, but if you're wrong,
I had the most violent charges of all the January 6th.
They were calling out black people for doing bad
So you don't agree with being a 1776 patriot and fighting for your country? Would you believe the founding fathers are right to
the founding fathers were right
tyranny?
on some things and they were wrong on some things.
I'm talking about tyranny. Were they right against standing against tyranny?
No,
Are we right against standing against black violence?
Tyranny.
It is tyranny. We are living in tyranny. It is the same tyranny.
Concerns about black
it is the same tyranny.
If your concerns about black violence, why
and racism against white people,
why are you not talking about what's going on in Philadelphia?
I'm talking about black violence against white Americans.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about cities. Detroit is one of the most unlivable cities in America.
Yep.
Up until the 1950s, Detroit was called the Paris of the West. Okay. Why is that? And why is that no longer the case? Because it is unlivable due to black crime.
Dude, I'm slow. I just now recognize it.
Every minute you say that's not
You the community that I represent. I also represent other communities. Republicans. You're trying to shut them down. Yes, you are. You are trying to write him off. I see it. You are. No matter you put a cowboy hat on and get him to say that. You are not even see the event.
Let me ask you.
You're mad. No, hold on. You're mad because he's calling out black people for doing wrong. Yes,
I don't care, son.
You care. That's why you're here right now. That's why you came here.
Black people.
We're not
every
stupid.
day.
We see what you're doing.
One question.
We see what you're doing.
Should Carmelo
I know you have white family members like I do, but I'm tired of it.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, really?
I'll
think
should
Carmelo
not
have any injuries on my indictment. Why was I left?
$500,000 raised for Carmelo Anthony because he killed a white.
So I have two problems.
What's your issue?
I have two problems.
Yeah.
So no, hold on.
If Carmelo Anthony was your neighbor, would you allow your children to go play with him right now? Carmelo's answer, Jay, he's home on bond. Would you send your children over to go play Xbox with him right now?
I don't know the kid.
Exactly, because he doesn't know. Oh, wow. Okay.
Hold on.
I know you were here today.
Why?
You're just mad that he's pulling out the problem of black people killing white people. Yes, that's exactly what I think.
You don't see.
That's why I think you came here to start
How
some
about
shit.
for black males murdering? Are you against that? 100%.
I think that I think
why
Austin
Carmelo
was
Anthony?
was
Why
a
is he
black
getting the
kid.
opportunity to kill the next person that says, "Hey, can you get maybe move over a couple inches?"
He's saying
threat to the white paper boy that's going to jump up the paper tomorrow morning.
He's a danger to the community.
Guys,
If I killed your son, would you walk down the street right
You
now?
kind of agree
I
with me?
kind of agree with you on
Let
the
me
bond.
say this.
The issue is hold on. I kind of agree with you on the bond. But
Come on,
hold on.
Murderers. He don't want you to be a man. He
Hold on.
wants you to
That's
follow
not what
him.
I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Righteous.
What I'm saying is that you're being silent about the issue of black crime. You're
Exactly.
saying, oh, what about
Yes,
Detroit?
you are.
What about St.
Yes.
Louis? Those cities are unlivable. Those cities are unlivable, not because of Indians,
So you just said
not
I'm
because
being
of Chinese.
silent.
I
I'll
think
tell you what
are.
I'm doing
I
since you
think
don't
you're
know
running
me.
cover for
Since
black
you don't
crime.
know me.
You're running cover for
So
black
since
crime.
you don't know me, Google my name,
I
Bruce
don't care.
Carter, black
I
on black crime.
I can
Hold on.
Google his
And
name.
I'm holding a meeting this Tuesday where I've called.
Bruce Carter, huh? I gotta look him up. But I don't have time to do it. So you are getting the full break this morning because I'm not gonna have time to do anything else because I'm preparing for Thursday. You are getting the full adjustment of what racial divide really is. We've been racially divided for years. For years. This generation is just now getting a taste. And it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. There ain't nothing, and I do mean nothing, that white folks are willing to do. Improving who they are. They can claim to be this innocent soul. And you got these black ass crackers that can defend white racism to the hills all they want. It's not going to make a difference because you know what's going to happen? Let's just say Carmelo Anthony goes free. What's stopping white America and part of black America from harassing this child if he is free? What's going to stop him? What's going to stop white America and black America for crucifying when he's gone? If he has to do prison time. So either way, we're screwed. We are screwed. And I wouldn't mind participating in the demise of certain people because we need to cut some of the fat. We really do need to cut some of the fat of some of these perpetrators and traitors. But that's just me. That's my take on it. That's just my take on it. I don't know how anybody else feels. They just want to just live regular lives, but it doesn't work that way. Because in life, you're going to have to tell your daughters and your sons that this is what you're going to be going through. this is what you're this is what you're going to be going through for the rest of your yesteryears. This is what you're going to be going through. People don't want to go through any type of racial controversy. Nobody wants to go through controversy, period. But this is just the world that we live in. And it's just like I said before, the elitists do not care because they have their own world. They have created their own world. And to leave the rest of us just to kill each other. I don't know how you can, no. The truth must be told. Talking about you're sick and white people talking about they sick and that's just truly funny. White people talking about they're sick and tired. Well, how do we feel? How do we as black folks feel in this country? How do we feel? This is some crazy stuff. Let me see if I can finish up this. What up, Georgia? Georgia.
To the point of this situation. If anything, look, they get upset when I'm just able to articulate myself down a straight line of thought.
Yeah.
That's all this is. When I articulate myself in a straight line of thought, they get so upset. It's wild. And so they want me to, I don't know. It's crazy. We have to think.
That's a good one. I'm thinking to myself, the person in the last video, decrying his fictitious degrade black culture. Someone should ask him about the white college mass shooting. Good one. White college mass shooting, the white school stabbing, or one that killed his parents and targeted Trump. You got two people that targeted Trump. That's not just the one. Yeah, he was at a small town, and I think that was staged because number one, I've never seen female security get that lost in the sauce before. I have not seen it. And number two, the boy got shot in his ear. If I'm a professional rifleman, you're gone. All I need is one bullet, and you're gone. He shot multiple rounds. So that must mean he was this guy, whoever was trying to assassinate Trump at the time, he was a rookie. Had to be. And how was it did you scan that area before a day before the former president, or at that time the former president arrived? You're scanning an area where you're doing like a press conference of a rally meeting or whatever. Your security scans the area that you're going to be doing the press conference in the day before, so you can neutralize all the threats, all the traps. Right? Why did this dude let off multiple rounds? That make no sense. And then they tried to assassinate him at the golf course. Donald Trump was playing around a golf, and this dude came out of nowhere. That's just, woo. White America for you.
Hold on. I'm trying to have a conversation with Siobhan. Please, gentlemen, please. Are you finished with that vein of thought?
And that's what aggravates them the most too, as well, right? They are upset that I'm not only I'm able to articulate myself, that people want to actually have a conversation and go with a back and forth with me. That also bothers them a lot. They are upset that a lot of them cannot maintain a conversation that people enjoy to have.
Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Take a couple of days off, and then hopefully on Thursday we will definitely have our panel full of police officers. And it is crazy. And it's crazy, right? Because I cannot stand police. But in these times, in this time of drama, in the times that we are living in, who do you have more to protect you more than yourself? Unless you are willing to police your own, and that's kind of difficult to do. So, and I have faith in my boy Nathan Daly. I have faith in my boy. I mean, he knows he knows the law. That's what counts. He knows the law. Well, let me continue.
This is something else that bothers them a lot. They cannot stand the fact that I stand tall in my own self, in my own thoughts, and I don't regurgitate information. I'm going by what I believe, what my thoughts are, where my thoughts come from, how I got to those thoughts. I'm able to express all those things in a straight line, and that pisses them off that people actually want to talk to somebody that could form a full coherent sentence. It bothers them.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't provoke me to anger, or else you'll be in danger.
And we know why she played that. That was a nice little joke because that's something that I play when somebody get kicked off, and when they brought back, I played that song. Funny.
That is funny.
He has to stand under the weight of his decisions in the law. So whatever Austin did not stab him. Austin did not draw blood from him. This is also equal and opposite force. Had Austin drawn blood from him, had Austin stabbed him or cut him, him using the knife would be acceptable in the law.
So the problem is that what they don't realize was acceptable in the law is something, if you perceive the person can cause you bodily harm, you can do what you need to do in Texas.
Yes. Period. Point blank.
That's the truth of the matter. That's what it's saying in Texas.
Don't
so now we could go to when, because I don't want to go into when now me and Fantastic started arguing for no reason. I want to go to when they keep asking me to prove my point or what. Also, matter of fact, they also brought Diesel up there, which was kind of crazy as well. I didn't understand that part neither.
Again, I'll say it for the last time. I don't even know why you even bother. Why do you bother? It is you can't articulate yourself with a bunch of yahoos. You can't do it, bruh. And even certain ones, even specific ones, I wouldn't even bother to address you. Mr. Fantastic, what the fuck does he know about the law? No disrespect. I would have a more decent time with Diesel. Well, let's see what he got to say.
That was the investigation is. We're gonna bring it back a little bit. Welcome to the show. ADS. Good day, sir. How you doing today?
Well, Brother Sharon, I'm hoping that all had a good Holy Week and a beautiful Easter.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Once again, the Fight Club is
the whole time.
No, you went on the angry hostile panel. We've all done that. I've been on your panel before where it's been angry and hostile. And then this is kind of the treatment we all get when we go places where we're not welcome, right?
That's fine, but we just still got to call whatever it is, right? What we understand that Angry Man is not arguing in good faith right now. And it's okay for us to call it out. If these were all women doing this to a man, y'all would be quick to say, oh, this is how these hyenas act. Right? So, but now that is a man that y'all so-called respect, or he's some kind of status symbol that y'all appreciate, but to me, he's just a man. He's just another human being that I'm having a conversation with. I'm not going to have him at a higher self-esteem or a lower one just because he's a man, woman, or because he has a certain amount of subscribers. The new Culture Empire, $4.99. Don't trip. She only acted that way because the other content creators were bigger. Pause. That's life. They all gonna side with clout. Bar. And that's the truth of the matter. And that's what actually happened. Right? Is that they are not, and we could call out, if this was a bunch of women doing this to a man that y'all didn't know, y'all will all be saying, see, this is how those women act. But because it's a man, all of a sudden, y'all can't see no fault in what they are doing. None of the men want to call it out.
Oh, I don't like it
about it, right? So shout out to the men that are calling it out. It is a few out there right now, and it's a big divide. And shout out to all those men that's calling out the blatant hypocrisy.
I don't like it either, Sharon. I don't like the way that you were treated. I don't like it when it happens to me. Nobody likes this, right? Mm-hmm. It's not an enjoyable phase, but at least I'll give you some credence. At least you had the heart necessary to kind of, suffer that, right? To get your point across.
Correct. I appreciate that because I think that's the first time you ever gave me some props, ADS. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to accept that. I appreciate that, ADS. And also, welcome to the show.
The Venus, the verbal assassin, Angry Man, is that he attempted to put all black people in this crazy monolith, right? To where he says, hey, I'm an N-word, you an N-word, and we know how N-words think, right? So we know exactly why he went over there, and you don't like it because you feel like the white guy deserved it. Like, what kind of crazy cockamamie, situation the Angry Man is under, right? Contrary to popular belief, all black men don't think the same. All black men don't move the same. All black people don't make the same decisions. So the fact that the Angry Man, for some strange reason, he doesn't know that, I'm starting to believe what you've been saying about him, that he may not be black. Maybe that whole Juan Valdez type of situation, maybe that situation is true. The more and more I listen and I hear the Angry Man's talking points, right? Because he don't present himself to be a black man. He don't present himself to be someone who has experienced white supremacy, or someone who has experienced discrimination, or someone who has experienced the plight of being black in this white man's world. He seems that he has removed himself from that, or maybe never experienced it at all. So that's kind of what I found kind of funny and strange about the interaction, and also the ignorance, right? And I'm going to call it willful ignorance, because I don't know if they were doing it on purpose or not, right? But obviously, they don't understand the difference between someone having a legal right to be there and then someone not having a legal right to be there, right? First and foremost, when you consider the track meet situation between the Metcalfs and the Anthonys, right? What happened in that situation, they were on the property of Frisco ISD, right? Which is private property. And no one has a legal right to be in private property, right? So if Carmelo Anthony was wrong and he wasn't where he was supposed to be, the authority that could make that decision and could ask him to leave are the people who enforce the policies of Frisco ISD. It's as simple as that. And the Metcalf boys did not. So we have to understand that they were not under the authority to tell Carmelo Anthony to move or to leave or to do any of the such, right? Now, when we get into the press conference, right? And they made that kind of false equivalence that, well, if they had the right to tell the Metcalf father to leave, then that means that the Metcalf boys had the right to tell Carmelo Anthony to leave. And that's why I call it ignorance, because there's a big difference between someone who owns private property telling somebody who they don't want on their private property to leave versus someone who doesn't act or have authority to do so, right? So those are two different, totally different circumstances. And frankly, I didn't see a problem with the Metcalf father even being at the press conference, right? Because I understand how these situations work. I looked at it as a political chess move. That's all it was. At the end of the day, the prosecuting people, they're playing chess, and the defense team, they're also playing chess. And this whole chess match is going to play out in the public, right? So him showing up as, hey, my son was the victim. I'm a grieving father. If you're having a press conference speaking about the death of my son, I want a front row seat, right? What better political theory is that, right? And I think that the defense team did a good job of countering that chess move, right? By getting the proper authorities to remove him from the venue, right? And what I'm saying is they showed in real time what the Metcalf boys should have did with Carmelo Anthony, right? So it worked out beautifully in that way. Great political theater, and I loved it, right? And here's what I say about the case, because there was a couple of legal victories that the defense already won that we need to talk about and highlight, right? Number one,
Shouts
they
out to Brown.
won their fight
Shouts out to Brownsville, by the way.
with the bail situation, right? So they got the bail reduced, and now Carmelo Anthony is not behind bars. He's home with his family, right? That is a legal victory for the defense team early on. Number two, they were able to raise a substantial amount of money that they're going to need to provide him an excellent defense team, right? Because when we are
And that's all they use that money for.
going through these legal situations, there's a big difference between having an attorney and then having a defense team, right? Because when you have a defense team, you got multiple attorneys attacking the prosecution in a multitude of different ways, right? They're going to systematically break down that case in several different ways in which a single attorney is not going to have the time allocated to do that, right? Also, they'll have the money to hire what they call expert witnesses, right? For an example, they'll hire someone with the expertise and the licensing to diagnose Carmelo Anthony's mind state at the time where he pulled out the knife, right? jurors love expert witnesses, people that have the credentials and licensing to give them an insight on why somebody did something or took some type of an action, right? So I think that was also a good victory for them to be able to get the money to put forward a proper defense, right? Because most of us, when we're in that situation, we don't have the funds in order to, put forward a sufficient enough defense going up against a state who has a whole bunch of means at their disposal to utilize to prosecute you, right? So they got him out of jail, got the bail reduced, and now they have the money to put together to defend him properly, right? Now, the next battleground area in this case is going to be the jury selection process, right? That's going to be the next form of political theater. Why? Because the venue, the jurisdiction is under Frisco, right? And I'm not familiar of the county of Frisco, but I'm willing to guarantee that there's not a lot of black people and brown people that lives in that county, right? So it's going to make the jury selection process very, very, very difficult to navigate. And I believe, in my opinion, the defense team is going to move for a change of jurisdiction. Remember, I said this. We're going to be hearing when this case is being brought forward, they're going to be looking for to change the jurisdiction so that they can have a larger jury pool to get the jurors there available, right? Because what a lot of people, they're saying, okay, we're going off of hypotheticals, and we're going off insinuations and speculation and all these different things that they're saying, right? Which is correct. However, what's being glossed over and what they all glossed over there is that Carmelo Anthony, according to the 6th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, is innocent until proven guilty, right? Not guilty until proven innocent. He's innocent until proven guilty, and the 6th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution guarantees us the right to a fair and speedy trial, guarantees us the right to an impartial jury made up of our peers, and so on and so forth, right? So when this case goes forward, the next battleground is going to be that jury selection, because they're going to want, and I'm talking about the defense team, they're going to want at least 3 black people on that jury, and within that 3 black people, 1 black woman, at least. That's what they're going to want, and that's going to be very, very, very difficult for them to get that under whatever county Frisco falls under. Because if it doesn't fall under Dallas County, then they're going to have an issue with getting the people that are quote unquote Carmelo Anthony's peers, right? They're going to more than likely be the Metcalf family's peers, which is going to be a problem, right? Because the Metcalf family, they're not on trial here. And, rest in peace to Austin Metcalf. And, we still need to pray for the Metcalf family that, they get,
It will be truly fair, but fair is a place where they judge pigs. To have a decent amount of black jurors versus white jurors. Man, woman, woman, or man. But again, I don't live in Texas. So this is going to be it's going to be quite difficult for your boy. It's going to be quite difficult for the young man. But I hope and pray it becomes it's fair, it's decent. Just have a fair trial, bro. Just have a fair trial. Otherwise, that county is going to, the Dallas County is going to eat him up. It's like I said, win, lose, or draw, the Metcalf family is going to have a victory. And of course, the Carmelo Anthony family It's not the end of it. You're not gonna hear the end of it.
Supported, and they get, you know, some peace and some deliverance in dealing with that grief. However, there's still Carmelo Anthony here who's under the trial of fire, and he's under prosecution, and he does have the right to be looked at as innocent until proven guilty by the Sixth Amendment of the maybe because we don't feel like the Sixth Amendment should apply to us, right? And that's what I felt like I heard on that panel you was on. There were a multitude of Black people who were before he was able to undergo due process. And I think that's the problem that I had with Random Independent, and that's the problem that I had with the Black people on that panel, right? We're sorry for the loss of the Metcalf family, and we get all that, but they're not on trial here. Carmelo Anthony's on trial, and what he's saying is it was self-defense, right? So it's up to the prosecution to prove that it wasn't self-defense, and that is where we're going to figure out the facts and the truth of what happens, and then we'll be able to make a good decision when all the facts are laid out and all the testimony. But we can't come up with any conclusions yet because we don't have any of that information. Probably less than 1% of the facts that's going to be showed during this case we have access to. So it's very premature for us to come up with any conclusions or, you know, Monday morning quarterback this thing. But the chess match is underway. The defense team did have several jury selection. Listen, peace and love. I see the Queen Tiff jumped up. Peace and love to you, Queen. Peace and I believe you did a good job of trying to articulate your points.
Bothers me really, really bad when I see Black people.
So that says a concussion can give you bodily harm. Do we believe?
Appreciate you, big homie. Go ahead, Sharon. You was my bad. Go ahead,
look,
he was on phone call.
He wasn't even listening to him. And here's the thing, right? Most of the states that I've lived in for the majority of my life has always been self-defense states. I know people that have been in self-defense situations. I know people that were in a self-defense situation and they still had to go to jail because of the circumstance. Okay? Trying to prove self-defense when you get into a physical altercation with somebody and you use a weapon and that person has nothing but their fist, that is a hard-ass self-defense case to win. Period. Point blank, period. Matter of fact, here in the state.
And that's fine that it's going to be an uphill battle, but nobody's arguing if it's an uphill battle or not.
Yeah, but y'all arguing that a kid who killed another kid should go home. And I think that's wrong.
No, it's not if it's in self-defense.
Okay.
Right. So as long as it's in self-defense, that he wasn't just trying to fake drama so he could just go ahead and stab a random person, then
I completely disagree, though.
Right. So, okay, according to that, he did. We're not talking about morally. We gotta get this more. There's a difference between the moral conversation and the law conversation.
But and I'm having a law conversation. I ain't talking morally. I watch law. I literally watch interrogations for 2 hours of them interrogating people in a small ass room because I love to watch it. My girl think I'm crazy. I know law. I'm not making it morally. I'm saying that I don't believe that if you should be able to stab someone if you go into their tent and they just like, yo, get the fuck up out of here, B. You ain't over here. And then you go touch me and see what happened, and then you stab them because they're doing what boys do all the time, which is get in fights.
Back into the
So that's all I'm saying. And yo, of course, not going to see it that way either.
Hold on. Let me ask what you're saying. So okay, so you go by law. So in the state of Texas, it says as long as you can prove that somebody can do bodily harm to you, you can use a deadly force. That's what the law says.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. So you say, are you going to argue the law? That's what the law says.
Okay, but so if that's what the law is, okay. But if that's what the law says, they lock them up. It's what the law says, but they
that was giving you a statement. I'm telling you that's what the law says, and you started rebuttaling before I finish. So that's what the law states, that bodily harm, you can use deadly force. So also in that state of Texas, somebody in case law showed that because they was able to because they got a concussion, they got bodily harm. So now that's precedent. So now it shows that body harm can be considered a concussion. Now, can we say somebody that is reasonable in the state of Texas can believe that somebody like Austin and Hunter can cause a concussion, which is considered bodily harm, to Carmelo? And yes, no.
I mean, usually you are, because he didn't get a concussion, didn't even get touched at all.
Okay, so I'm
okay. You changed the whole scenario to like some make believe.
Hold on. So,
what's up? 4 words. Go ahead.
No, you said more because you're painting a narrative, right? So again, the law says somebody that reasonably think you could cause them bodily harm. We have a case law that says a concussion can give you bodily harm. Do we believe a reasonable person? I didn't put not one if yet. Do we believe a reasonable person would think that Austin and Hunter can give Carmelo bodily harm?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the law. No feelings. Now go.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that I can just, because like right now I'm out here outside. A guy could be walking up to me, right, and be like, "What the fuck you doing over here?" If he walks up to me and I just stand here, right, even though we have stand your ground, and I shoot him, I can't just do that because say I think he was coming for me, and then next you know he was looking past me or some shit like that.
So again, this is what you're not talking
you're cutting
about.
me off again, though. You're cutting me off again.
Right, because
you're giving a reason why you cut me off.
Yes, because you're not sticking to the point that what we are talking about. You just gave a different hypothetical. Again,
gave you the same hypothetical. You saying that the law says, okay, Jesus Christ. Go ahead, bro.
2 people was against 1.
No, you do not know that for a fact. No one ever said that. You're lying. They was cooking you on that panel, bro. You're making stuff up because you're on your panel now. But every time you said that, they was rebuttaling you. So stop, bro.
Hold on.
Stop making up. Like, don't try to.
Don't repeat it. Hold on. Just hold on.
I'm not repeating anything.
You are. So again,
you're barely letting me speak. You keep cutting me off.
Hold on. So if I show you a video of Hunter saying that,
show the video. You show it. Yes. Show me the video. No, show me a video of 2 people attacking 1. Don't show me no video of somebody talking, B. Because you do a lot of talking and there's a lot of shit that we can't believe you say. So show me a video of them actually fighting, and that's no disrespect to you, but words could be skewed and twisted. Show me a video. If you have no video of you fighting, then you don't know what's going on. That's the truth.
So you're not understanding what I'm saying. You're just talking. You are just painting a narrative. Again, you're doing what they are doing, painting a narrative for no reason. When we could just go off what it said. I'm saying, I don't know why it's difficult to listen. It's weird to me.
You ain't got to be disrespectful to me because I'd smack the shit out you if you'd have said I got a difficulty listening. Be a man. Like, stop being a fucking woman all the time. Haven't disrespected you once. I hear you. You keep saying the same thing, just like they started calling you a bitch ass nigga.
I did not say this. I did not repeat myself. You are having a problem with comprehension. I'm talking to you, and you don't want to have a conversation. You just want to
I'm
prove
having a
your point.
conversation.
When I'm having a conversation with you
I'm not
about
trying to-
law, you are
trying to
telling
prove
me
it.
about your feelings.
I'm not telling you about my feelings.
Yeah, you look.
Okay, so when he go to jail, will you apologize for everything he said? Yes or no?
Again, you're talking about feelings. When he go to jail, I'm not talking about no feelings.
That's law. He gonna go to jail because it was the truth.
Hey, Sharon, can I say something real quick?
It's crazy how you do all this on your panel, but you wasn't doing none of that shit over there. They was cooking you over there.
The problem is that you think you're having a conversation by cutting you off and just rambling.
You was cutting me off and just gave a reason why you cut me off.
I am, but you are keep talking and you're not listening.
All right, watch this. I'm gonna listen. Watch.
Go ahead, BMU.
No, so I just want to add a perspective because I'm here, right? I'm minutes away from where this shit happened, right? And so, to be honest, you know, when we're being disingenuous when we say show video of them fighting, because all of that stuff is going to be for court. Nobody's going to be able to see any of that until trial starts. Right? They've confiscated everything. They put everything into evidence. So you won't be able to see anything that happened at that track field until it's time to go to court. Secondly, just probably 24 to 48 hours ago, the brother of the young man who lost his life did an interview with his mom. And during that interview, a lot of people were like, why are they letting him speak if they know everything that he says will be used against him in court? This young man sat with his mom and spoke about being with his brother when this stuff occurred. Now, did he say he attacked the brother? No. He said it was with his brother, right? In Texas, there have been several cases, Sharon. I'm going to say this and I'm going to drop. There have been several cases, Sharon, where we had Mr. Couch,
last night,
16 years old, get in a Ford F-150 truck drunk, 16, and kill 7 people with a truck.
even the one from the bottom, that's still good.
He went to they say he had influenza.
I just gotta look
You know, right from wrong. Six months later, a black boy and a white boy fighting in class. This is a fight. No weapons involved. Fist fighting. And the black boy got the best of him. Hit him with one of the movies. The white boy to a desk, his head on the corner of the desk. The same judge who gave her. Now,
crazy how you do all this.
Son came in the room.
Interview. A lot of people were like, why are they letting him speak if they know everything that he says will be used against him in court? This young man sat with his mom and spoke about being with his brother when this stuff occurred. Now, did he say he attacked the brother? No. He said it's with his brother, right? At the end of the day, if here in Texas, there have been several cases, Sharon, I'm going to say this and I'm going to drop. There have been several cases here, Sharon, where we had Mr. Couch, 16 years old, get in a Ford F-150 truck drunk, 16, and kill 7 people with a truck. He went to court. They say he had affluenza, which means you don't know right from wrong. And they gave him 10 years probation and they sent him home. Right? Six months later, a black boy and a white boy fighting in class. This is a fight. No weapons involved. Fist fighting. And the black boy got the best of him. Hit him with one of those ooh-wees. The white boy fell into a desk, hit his head on the corner of the desk and passed away. The same judge who gave Couch 10 years probation for killing somebody drunk in a truck with no license gave the young black boy 22 years in prison for the fight in the classroom, which resulted in the white boy losing the fight and falling and hitting his head on the corner of a desk. So the same judge, both cases, same judge, right? So this is what we're dealing with here in the lovely state of Texas. But Texas also wants to be their own country because we talk about why should punk ass niggas have knives, and little punks have knives. And this in the state of Texas, you will see a 15-year-old, 16-year-old boy, white, black, Hispanic, doesn't matter. They have their little pocket knives on them. It is a normal thing.
Good point. Good point. Black man unfiltered. Good point.
Boys to walk around with their pocket knives. These big old country white boys, 16, 17 years old, got pocket knives on them everywhere they go. This is what they do. They got their camo on. They got their mossy yoke on. They carry these little pocket knives everywhere they go. They got shotguns in the windows.
Yep.
They got guns in the consoles. 16, 17-year-old boys at gun shows. This is a lot of shit. If you don't live here, you don't know. 16, 15-year-old boys are at gun shows buying guns with their fathers. 9mm, shotguns.
Yes.
12 gauge, sawed-offs.
Right.
You better go to Walmart and get your piece. You're supposed to get your piece from Walmart now. You hang that up in the back.
Crazy.
Can I say something?
He's smoking. He is cooking right now. He is cooking. and all of a sudden, white people are the victims. White people are victims. Texas is one of the most racist, most racist states in America. Please.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
Okay.
And so the thing is, these white boys out here, I said this a long time ago before any of this happened. I said, man, why black folks need to catch up? Because we ain't teaching our kids how to defend themselves with guns or knives or something. These white boys, 15, 16 years old, they getting AR-15s, they getting 9mm, they shooting with their daddy. They got videos right now on YouTube of a daddy teaching his son, 8-year-old son, how to shoot a damn AR-15. And what are we doing? We're not doing anything. So in the state of Texas, I'll say this and I'm done. In the state of Texas, if you feel like your life is threatened, and I'll give you this case and I'm done.
Yes.
Man solicits prostitution, goes to a hotel with the young lady, goes into the hotel, he's in the shower, the lady grabs his wallet and his valuables, runs out the door. The man runs after her in his boxers, gets in his truck. Her brother was waiting on her. They robbed the man. He chased them down, got his AR-15, riddled the car with bullets and killed both of them. Right after he killed both of them, guess what happened? And I want you to Google this, guys. If you Google it here in Texas, after he riddled the car with bullets, guess what happened? He did not get charged with anything. I thought they were going to charge him with soliciting prostitution. They didn't even get him for the prostitution. They got because they in the state of Texas, you have a right to go and get your property from someone else by any means necessary, whether they have a weapon or not.
Damn. Crazy work.
And you know how I know this? You know how I know this, Ron? Because I myself, we talked about this last week. I myself have my license to carry. I also have my tactical license to carry. I can hit you from 40 yards out and knock your chin off. Right? This is what we do here in Texas. Texas is a place where everybody got a gun, but everybody complain when you use them.
Yes.
Crazy work. And also, I got a Cash App. It says, "Are there bounties? I'm in the mood." That was okay. Go ahead, DJ Wish Doctor. What's your thought?
Before y'all drop me, you know what I'm saying? One thing I would yeah, laughing. Go ahead. Get it out, Tiff.
That was a good joke. Go ahead.
That was good. And hey, can I appreciate you this weekend? Look at you standing up for the blacks. Thank you, Dr. DJ Wish Doctor. You was
where I'm from is super pro black because it's racial tension between blacks and Indians. So black people really fuck with each other, right? But one thing I want to say, I used to always say that a lot of violence against black people would be minimized if we got a lot of black police, right? And if black people give each other the benefit of the doubt. But what I'm seeing right now, bro, that shit is crazy. We're not even trying to get that young man the benefit of the doubt. The man come from a well-to-do family, and we just trying to throw him onto the bus, call him all types. We trying to demonize the man. How the man gonna get a fit? Like people say you need to get judged by your peers. This man can't even get judged by his peers. This is crazy right now.
Woo,
Guilty until proven innocent, brother. Guilty until proven innocent.
Shout out to Alexis W. Thank you so much. I believe we are 4 away now. Yeah, it's crazy that we have people like Diesel TV that will lie on the police like that and say that, yeah, they got all the information. You know damn well police paint narratives when they push out these goddamn police reports. Come on.
Could I just add this? In Florida, the stand your ground law is written with a key word. You can defend yourself with a reasonable amount of force. You can stand your ground with a reasonable amount of force.
You can tap dance with some taps on your shoes.
I mean, I'm not from the South, so that doesn't like affect me. We don't use those racial slurs up here. But look, you could defend yourself. I mean, that's what the law says. I'm looking at it right now. Self-defense, most places allow you to defend yourself with reason.
Look at God.
Yeah,
look at
I think the problem is that a lot of people just do not want to just look at the law for real when it's for us.
I am listening at the law. I'm telling you the law. It says it. I'm reading. I was reading it, but you know what? You know what's so crazy is that.
Hold on, but you read in Florida's law. We talking about Texas.
I know, but we both have stand your ground, though. That's what I'm saying. We both have the same.
In Texas, this is what BMU was saying.
Okay, so
in case law.
Okay, look. Whatever, man. Whatever. Y'all all right. He's gonna get let free. I'm not here to like do all this shit with y'all. Right. What I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, a kid lost his life, and it just seems weird that people want nothing. Like they look at that life being lost because it's a life that is not relatable to their skin tone.
Literally nobody said
that's just my whole thing. Well, that's what it feels like. I didn't say like
everything you feel is not what is, bro. What you got to process your feelings. It was what is. I could be in a dark room. I could feel some shit and think it's a knife. Turn on the light is a spoon. What you feeling is not everything, bro.
Thank you, D-Tro. Salute to you. Thank you.
I guess I got to get angry man with them over here with me and shit because I see everybody clicked up over here. So y'all clicked up. I see what's going on. The same thing that happened with Sharon on that channel is happening to me. It's cool.
Hold on. So the problem is that you keep painting a narrative that nobody's saying.
I'm not painting a narrative. I'm saying a kid died, so somebody should be punished. It's that simple. And now we talk about feelings.
Right. So because it's not the fact that he died why he should be punished. It's the fact that he felt threatened. Like we cannot ignore the law just because of your feelings of morality.
Well, the law locked him up. That's where I go to that because if the law felt like that, why did he have to bail out? The guy here, he was with the law, the Miramar guy, and he didn't have to bail out. They dropped the charges and they put it on the news and they apologized to him. That's not happening to this kid. So the law and the prosecutor and the judge looked at it, and in order for the prosecutor to get an arrest warrant, the judge had to look at it and get at least say this is substantial evidence.
A charge and a conviction is two different things, bro.
Why y'all love cutting me off? I know a conviction is two different things, but in order for somebody to charge you, they have to go to a judge and get it written off. They have to give a little bit of evidence. Oh, we saw this person on camera next to the scene and this and that. And they'll go, okay, you got 3 pieces of evidence that maybe means that this is the person. It don't mean he's the person, but maybe. Okay, I'll give you that arrest warrant. They gave it to him and they haven't retracted it yet. So when y'all go, the law, if it's so right, then why the law hasn't letting them go? Because because the stuff that we don't see, right? Because somebody here said, oh, the video and all this stuff, someone has seen that and someone has went, okay, this fits the criteria of this fits the criteria of that, and this fits the criteria of that. And y'all are arguing me and saying I'm retarded, I'm wrong, and coming at me all Sharon saying I don't know how to comprehend and all this shit, make it seem like I'm retarded, right? But they have him locked up and he had to bail out and he has to face his charges. But I'm so crazy for saying that something seems wrong here. Like, okay.
No, again.
Hey Sharon, I was going through your content, and I was trying to find an episode where, or anybody's content, when this same thing happened to Tamir Rice or any other young black man who was taken out by some other miraculous.
So you got 37 on your head. I also want to get KT to
his right to a fair trial. Let's give him his Sixth Amendment rights.
right. And so, but I just want people to just deal with the real facts at hand, though.
And you try to say he was a thug. That wasn't true. The young man has a job. The young man has a 3.7 GPA. He is a high achiever in education, a high achiever in athletics. So what else can this young man do? Should he have just fell to the ground, let the white boys beat the hell out of him, and been like, "Oh well"?
Yeah,
ahead,
and that's just crazy. But so John, you actually believe that this activist, which we found out that he do have a sketchy background. He got about like 7 different look. So you're saying that because of that, and they chose because this guy, he got his whatever that is, that next generation action network that he possibly built, or he did it with other people, he did it through his ministry. However, he built up this next generation action network. And besides, also, let's not forget that he is basically the security guard at that too. Not just a spokesman, he's a security guard. You're saying we should be able to judge that family off of this guy's background.
I think none of it is
Just like the
relevant.
taste out of your mouth. I'd like to see it.
Goddamn. Then I got him. It says, Toodles, Atlas. Atlas shrugged. John Galt. Yeah. Y'all are on one today. They said they was cool.
You try to say he was a thug. That wasn't true.
Seeking the understanding, they'll kind
And should he have just fell to the ground at the NAG?
The baby was fighting one nigga.
He didn't say anything, did he?
Galt, good day, sir. How you doing? What's your thoughts?
I mean, if you're going to start bringing up the people background that weren't involved in this, then I think you should bring up the spokesperson for the family, the Dominique guy. He has a hell of a background himself. I don't think
that ain't no blood relation, man.
Y'all gotta let people.
Yeah, he didn't raise Carmelo. My bad.
Hold on. What we're not gonna hold on. What we're not gonna do is the same thing that happened to me just a couple of days ago.
But you know, go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, John, finish your statement.
I was gonna say, you know, if Carmelo's parents had a criminal background, it wouldn't be relevant to what he did, and I don't think what the parents did in any side is relevant. Yeah, I mean, I think the most relevant is the spokesperson who was chosen to be in this situation, and he has a not so great background. And you have to wonder, why would Carmelo's parents want to smear his name with this guy? That's my thought.
The same reason why.
Hold on. So, okay, so the difference is that one is being raised
just finishing up and just looking over some stuff before Thursday's show. Hopefully everybody is in attendance. I'm just wrapping up some stuff, and I'll put it up in the thumbnail for everybody to see. But Thursday's show should be a good show, hopefully.
The person. Right. So we could say that Carmelo's father raised him. His influence, the way how he acted and moved, can influence the way how he acted and moved. His DNA, the way how he acts and moves, can influence how Carmelo acted and moves. So the DNA of Jeff Metcalf can influence the way how they act and move, the way how he raised them can make them act and move, and the way how he's acting, he's showing how he's possibly raised his own children. So we cannot say that because the lawyer that he chose, regardless if the lawyer or the representative, this political activist that he's trying to do, we don't know if they have prior knowledge.
I don't think it either way a judge is going to let if you've never been to jury duty, they're not going to let people who have high opinions or have biases, because they're going to ask you they're going to ask you a bunch of questions before you get selected. You have a whole bunch of people coming in for jury duty. You got 100 people coming in. They're only going to select 12. And out of the 12, you can't be biased. You can't be racist. You can't be biased. You can't be none of these things. Right? And they're going to test you. They are definitely going to test you for those couple of days. And after that, when they select it, the defense attorney and the prosecutor are going to start asking you questions too, because it's the same way. I don't know. Court of public opinion. I've done jury duty 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. They never gotten picked for whatever reason.
Knowledge to this, to all of these priors that this man had.
Right, Sharon, the only way that would make sense is if that guy mentored Carmelo. Did he mentor him? Like, what is, like, I don't get it. We might as well look for his high school. We might as well pull up his.
Yeah, let me play my uncles. I gotta play my uncles real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't think you you can actually request a speedy trial, but in Texas, most likely they're gonna deny that. They don't really.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Yes,
we had a girl in my city who got deleted. Her name is Tanda God. The dude that they accused of this, all on camera and all the other shit, just got released the other day. They said they can't prove nothing.
Me personally, Carmelo is only 17. I don't see Carmelo taking this all the way to trial.
Yeah, he gonna take it.
Oh, he's not even 18 yet?
No,
he's 17.
Oh.
But in the state of Texas, 17, they consider you an adult already.
Oh, okay.
So he still got to go. He's gonna be tried as an adult. But the reason why I say 17 is because at 17 you take another trial and gamble to lose, and you lose, they're gonna give you football numbers. And they already start out by giving him literally one of the highest charges they can possibly give him, which is murder 1, right? And murder 1 is premeditated murder. There is no way in hell you can prove that, bro. No way. Premeditated gotta be
to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Kick them when they're down. That's wrong. If you get pushed and and then the guy who you push stabs you, that's wrong.
It doesn't matter what you think is right or wrong, man. When you engage, when you outside of the home or your home, and you want to engage with violence with somebody else, you better be prepared to go all the way or not, buddy.
Then the person who uses a weapon in a fist fight goes to jail. That's it.
Well, that's what it is. What it is. But you will be taking a dirt net too. Don't forget that either.
You can go to jail for using your fist too.
Thank you.
Yes, because I remember when I listened to
the first blow is usually the first blow is the final blow when you use your fist. I know, especially MMA fighters, highly trained professionals and boxers know how to use their fists. So anybody who catches up with you and you blink wrong, if you don't know how to defend a punch properly, you can die or you can get injured. You gonna be feeding. They're gonna be feeding you food through a straw.
The same.
Oh shit!
Not knowing that this happened to me, bro. When I was like, when I was what 14, 15, three guys was about to jump me. I pull out my 9 stat, 2 of them motherfuckers, bro. They just kicked me out.
That's what I'm saying. A fist is considered a deadly force. Your elbows, your knees, your head, every parts of your body is considered a deadly weapon. Because it doesn't matter what you know. I know women who have razor blades in their mouths. And it ended up cutting you, and you're gonna end up having scars on your face for the rest of your natural born life.
Out of the whole district school. I couldn't go to school in that district in Brooklyn. So if you're gonna call yourself trying to jump me, man, you got another thing coming. That ain't gonna happen, bro. That just ain't gonna happen.
And don't let you be a professional fighter and you supposed to license your hands, and then you get into a fight outside in real life. Oh, your hands is a weapon. It's been licensed as such.
I'm pretty sure that the knife thing is going to be explained by the defense, by his lawyer. Because from what I know, Carmelo got 2 part-time jobs. So I'm going to assume that the knife got something to do with one of his part-time jobs, probably opening boxes. I don't know. I think that part is going to be explained.
You know, I find it amazing to me and a little appalling how women are undermining this, right, to an extent. You know, Watto Bulldog is saying it's unjustified. If this would have been the other way around, would we be having the same conversation? Would they be as
Why do you read people's chat that has not spent $1? Oh, I've been here for 5 hours and ain't nobody highlighted a comment. Why would you read that motherfucking, I'm not gonna call him what I feel like calling him, and he was up here goofing off and you read his shit out like he's important. That motherfucker is not important. Stop doing that to me, Lord ADS. Deputy, wrong with you.
Understood.
Now I will agree with Triple OG when he said earlier on, when he started off with this and said that it could have been avoided. We all know that, but we also know the situation as black men. We know, like, oh, the brother is with the brother. Why are you fucking with me? These adults ain't saying to me under this tent. Why are you coming over here bothering me? And you put your hands on me 2 times? Oh, well, like Blanco said, then, hey, man, violence, hey, ain't no rules in violence. Ain't no rules in fighting, because it's about survival.
No, but there are rules. It's equal.
Hey, Bridge, I'm just finishing up on a couple of things. I'll be chilling for the next couple of days until Thursday. I want everybody to attend Thursdays. Thursday around, I say, try 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock y'all's time. Because I know Nathan is on the East Coast and I'm on the West, so we're trying to do some. Where is Atlanta? Atlanta's on the East Coast, so it's going to be 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock y'all time. But come by, enjoy the show, enjoy good content. Let's continue.
Fuller, lesser force.
No, there's not.
Yes, there are.
No. If me and you start fighting, I'm hurting you. It doesn't hit, and you could die because I can knock you out and you hit your head. Hurt.
Where I'm from, and the guy was acquitted because the other person was the aggressor. But if he had pulled out a knife, he would have gone to jail.
What part of weapon do you not? What part of weapon does 10th Man don't get? I don't get where he's coming from. In order for you to do prison time, you just have to have a knife or a lead pipe or a gun or something, that doesn't equate. None of that shit equates. Everything that you use is a weapon.
Okay, but he probably wouldn't have did life or no football numbers either if he was doing it.
What is wrong with these people, Dominique? What's wrong with these people? What is literally wrong with these people? Are they not seeing what we see?
In self-defense.
He would have if he pulled out a knife.
It wouldn't have been no football numbers if it was self-defense, because like you said, he came at him. And especially if he was the aggressor and he self-defended himself.
This is the exact peripheral shit I'm talking about.
Yeah,
All of this is speculation. 1.27 seconds.
Come on in.
It's always a dream. He be holding 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, I think it'll be something along those lines, but nah, it's not going to be that lenient. I think it's going to be more along the lines of like maybe 10 to 15. You know what I'm saying? 10 to 15.
I don't see that one on though.
I do agree with the bring it down to like a second degree felony M charge, with case of sudden passion, whatever, and then you might be able to get him out in 10. But not so 2. Nah, bro, there's a body there, bro, in the state of Texas, dog, with a stab wound to the chest, bro. You ain't getting out in 2 years, bro.
Actually, I've got more evidence to speak to this. I think we should discuss this part because this is the actual penalty. Texas Penalty Code 93.2. Nice, can I share my screen?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me do this right quick. Because respectfully, this right here is the most important thing. This, which says to protect the actor against the other's use or attempted use of unlawful deadly force.
Hit the show more, Nightish. That's going to give us a better explanation.
Show more. Let's see if I can find that. Show more. Okay, here we go. Let me scroll down. Deadly force is defense of a person. Code 9.32. Deadly use of force may be justified when it is reasonably and immediately necessary to protect the actor against others' use or attempt use of unlawful deadly force.
Guy was just bold, being bold against 5, 6 because it was attempt. It was attempt for the other boys. So he's not going to be over there popping it like that, bro. Then he poked him once, and then after that he just threw the knife away, or the buzz cut or whatever that might be, and then ran away. And if he really had that intent, if he really in the chest, like right in the heart.
You know, they're going to use that just close to the heart. You know how they do with the upper body area type
It's funny,
shit.
I mentioned cleat spikes, man. Look, some of these chicks, I know Blanco know what I'm talking about, bro. I done seen some of these chicks go ham with a damn fucking stiletto.
To the neck. Oh, yeah, to the neck.
I done seen shit beat out of them.
Auntie.
And motherfuckers ain't facing these types of charges.
Auntie, I don't see a girl in front of me, yo. My hunger, pull out, take out her goddamn heels and hit the bouncer with it in the middle of his head, bro. Crack that man wide open, bro. Do the other 12.
What was that? What did I
ground state? You do not have the duty to retreat. So,
yo, usually in the crazy part, usually on those states, bro.
I remember that case.
What happened?
Anthony father, so they can.
That's not it.
Home now. I gotta pay my kid.
They went to kind of clear up a bunch. You do, but at the same.
And if they can't convict him of that charge, then he should be released with.
Okay,
I want him to have the same. I want him to have the same.
Me, how can anyone take it away from Carmelo? How can anyone cannot raise money so he can defend himself properly?
Because my view of it is that there should be no such thing as law for profit. That's the beginning of the conversation. Is there should be no citizen that gets a lesser defense based on how much money they can pay that lawyer.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Let me
So
ask
you want the boy to go handicap over there? So they
No,
can
I
bury
want
him
him
alive.
to have the same. I want him to have the same legal defense that anybody else would. Not that.
So OJ would have never got. So OJ had the best defense lawyer in world history, and Johnny Crockett. He had money, but it doesn't even matter. The poorest of the poorest of the poor got one of the best defense lawyers in history in Thurgood Marshall. What are we talking about here? That don't even make no sense. If you can afford a lawyer, if you can afford the best lawyer that there is with the money that you're spewing out, yeah, that's you Bridget. Everybody knows Johnny Cochran. Johnny motherfucking Cochran. You don't know no Johnny Cochran.
He gets a legal defense because he has more money. Yes.
Now this is where I got to stop you. Hold up.
How it works, though.
It doesn't work like that. But at the same time, so you're telling me, do you think $1 million bond was fair?
I think that anybody accused of murder.
Damn, this was a yes or no question, bro.
I think that anybody accused of murder, that there should not be any bond whatsoever.
When
There
you're
should
accused
also,
of it, so you're believing that people are guilty till
time out. We gotta teach Bridge a lesson. You don't know who Johnny Cochran is. Boy, oh freaking boy. This is the same Johnny Cochran who got OJ off. OJ Simpson, who died not too long ago. This brother right here. This brother right here. That brother right there. One of the greatest defense attorneys out of the state of California. He died allegedly he was unalived because he was going to unleash a mirror of Johnny Cochran's. Now we ain't got done. It again, what white folks fear, they destroy, in my opinion. Now, I was laughing because I didn't sound like you. Hey, you laughing because I didn't sound like you said Cochran. I know who he are. Okay. Well, my bad. My fault. See how I take accountability? See how I take accountability? Let's continue. She said, fuck you. You don't get no extra support from me. Thinking I don't know no Johnny Cochran. Who the fuck is you, nigga?
you've been innocent. This is crazy.
Also,
No bond on accusation.
Nuts.
Also, there should be no such thing as pleading down charges. The lawyers should have to come into court, say, this is the charge.
This guy,
and then that's the charge, and then that's the charge that is tried. And if they can't convict him of that charge, then he should be released with, he should be found not guilty of that charge. They shouldn't be able to go, oh, well, if you plead down to this charge, then we won't charge you with that. Obviously they couldn't get him on the first charge. That's why they're pleading him down. So then it should have just been automatically thrown out. That's an unfair trial right there. It doesn't matter the things are. I'm telling you the way things should be.
Hey, I get it. Hold on. There is no trial. But check this out, right? Blanco, Ray. when I say $1 million bond, like people were okay with the $1 million bond because they knew damn well that boy couldn't post it. That ain't right. So you telling me if he was a rich kid that just had it, whatever, they just put up a $1.5 million house, whatever, that would have been gravy. They were cool with the $1 million bond because he couldn't post it. They had a problem with it when the bond got dropped.
So
remember, I said that off rip. I was like, look, if you would have just said, hey man, no bond, I might not even been complaining, but then they would have had another hearing or something like that. But when you say $1 million, that's a screw you, we know you can't pay it number. Okay.
So you want the boy
even
to
the second judge that saw it came to that conclusion.
So you want the boy to go fight the case with the public defender, right? That's what I'm getting from you, right?
Are you asking me or the other guy?
He said everybody should have to use the public defender.
Yeah, hold on, Auntie, hold on. You know what I'm going? Like, so you want the boy to fight his case with the public defender, right?
Are you asking me or the other guy?
Yes, I'm asking you, bro. You're the only one who came up with that bullshit.
I'm saying that lawyers should have a base rate that they are paid, and all lawyers are paid that same amount. You do not get a better defense money. Yes.
Okay, so I mean that applies for Jeff Bezos' son. Let's say he catch a body.
Yes.
Man, you out of your goddamn mind, bro. I don't know what it is.
So then you think that it's okay that rich people get a better defense than a poor person?
No, that's just kind of the way.
Yeah, they are rich for a reason. They're supposed to afford the best is out there, bro. That's how it is.
I remember. You're lucky that Nidus was asleep, because I remember him or somebody else saying earlier. I remember somebody saying up here. I remember somebody up here.
More money does not necessarily equate to a better defense. It just means your lawyers are more expensive.
There would be no guarantee that he would win. Even if it was a better defense, it wouldn't be no guarantee that he would win. That's what usually does happen. You get the best defense lawyer that there is. That's any and everybody. If you can afford them. Am I missing something? You having a right. You have ain't that your Fifth or your Sixth Amendment? You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. If you have a right to an attorney. If you do not have the money, quote unquote, for an attorney, one will be provided for you for free. But guess what? That free lawyer is going to get you locked up.
So then what's the problem with that?
You better get a good lawyer if you
my
got the
lawyers
money.
charge more than yours does not mean I have better lawyers.
So if that's the case, then why can't they just? So if that's the case, then why can't they all just have public defenders then?
Oh my God! Because you the public defender. You can answer that because the mother of my kid, that's how she started. They coming out of just law school, bro. They're rookies. You know, they don't teach you how to be a lawyer in law school. You learn that when you're on the field, bro. I hope you know that. So when you get a public defender, you get an answer to my question. When you get a public defender, you're getting a person that's going to make a million mistakes. They're going to learn with your case. Do you want that? I don't think so, bro.
Right. So what you're saying is that if you're poor, they get to use you as a test subject, and that's just too bad?
Pretty much.
Bro. Yeah.
Okay, so then the whole justice system is fracked, and we can't have any faith in it at all, unless you have enough money to get a good lawyer.
You sound like
that too, but I mean, one thing that most people don't.
You sound like a perceptionist. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. You sound like a perceptionist. You want everything to just be just as. Without number one, without a court-appointed lawyer, and you do have the right to represent yourself, you know. You do have that right. The odds of you defending yourself, if any, the odds are extremely slim. But the odds of you paying a high court-appointed lawyer to get you out of a situation that either you know you're going to go to jail for, or you're just completely innocent of a crime that you did not commit, but you have to prove it within the court of law. If you can pay for the high-appointed lawyer, you have that right under the law. But a poor person can't pay for a high-appointed lawyer, so why should I? That's your fault. So a person who has high money, LeBron James don't get the high-appointed lawyer. What sense does that make? It does not make no sense. Remember, Prison Systems Industries is a for-profit industry. There you go. For-profit industry. Ask Ronald Actor Reagan. Ronald Actor Reagan. Thank you very much for that, Dom. Hey, Dom. Family. I can't even do the diesel one.
Don't want, especially when you facing life. You don't want a lawyer that's being paid by the same people that you're prosecuting.
I understand that.
You know,
do you know how the court works, bro? Like, do you have any idea?
I mean, I think we all feel
Fortunately, yes.
Somebody that's working for us than somebody that's working for
Because
the same.
usually when you hire those big time lawyers, you're not buying him, you buying connections. Those big time lawyers go to lunch with those goddamn judges. Some of them are friends with the prosecution, so everything's going to be very, very linear towards your client, whoever you're defending.
But that sounds very expert.
I'll tell you that.
Life is about connections, bro. I know y'all want to live in this right or wrong shit. For the most part, it's all about who you know.
But that sounds ex parte to me.
They say that, hey, a good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the judge.
Exactly. What do you think that thing is going like that?
Teach all that.
I know y'all want to be on the man. There is nothing fair in life, bro. My grandpa used to tell me, fair is a place where they raise pigs, bro. If you expect fairness, that ain't gonna happen, bro.
I like that one. That's real though.
If you expect this, that shit do not exist, family. Oh, fair. There is nothing fair in this world, family.
Right.
That's why you need to get your money up. Hopefully, you don't get in this situation. Number one, like avoid these situations at all costs. Make no mistake about it. But have some money, man. Money, man, alleviate a whole lot of problems, bro.
Money alleviate.
Yeah, I forgot.
He wouldn't have been.
I'm saying. And the young boy was
okay. You just you
very crucial.
Yeah. See, I just
can't believe this guy talk about he got to fight it over with a public defender, man. That one is hilarious.
Bro,
why not?
No.
Because he don't have to use a public.
They just go on and on, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All right, fam. I'm pretty much done with this nonsensical BS right here. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day off. And remember, Thursday, we're just going to get it in, man. We're going to get it in with some people who are really, really knowledgeable about some of this shit, including law. So I strongly advise you to check out these guys. What is that white guy trying to say? Who knows and who gives a shit? What he's saying is irrelevant. Trying to say you can only get a defendant judge. What right does? Oh, I know what he's trying to do. What he's trying to say is, you fuck up, you try to do something to me, and you fuck up, and you hire a Johnny Cochran versus a Johnny D. Come Lately, and you get off. Something's wrong with this the law itself. The traditional system ain't shit. It's just how it works. It's just too many people who get away with murder sometimes. Too many people get away with murder, and then there are those people who are righteous or are defended righteously. Just how the world works. People thought that OJ killed those two white folks. They couldn't prove anything. If it don't fit, you must acquit. That's just how the world works, man. Hell, if I had the money, I'd do the exact same thing. Unfortunately, the Carmelo Anthony raised over 400 and almost 500,000, half a million, almost a $500,000. They can do whatever they want. They want to hire the best lawyer. That's what they're going to do. He hasn't had a trial yet, and he hasn't had a trial yet, and all these ignorant people are up in arms. They're gonna. That's the way the world works, Bridge. Even when you're innocent, when you're found innocent in the court of law, you're still found guilty under the flash mobs. And flash mobs are now not these crazy ass white people with sticks and brooms and nuisance. No, they're with cell phones and computers. They dox your addresses and stuff. They call your job. They dox you at every moment. Just like they did the judge, just like they did Mrs. Tucker, the judge. This is how ignorant certain people are, and I bet my money it was white people who did the doxing. But for the life of me, I've never seen this much hatred for a black kid in my life by other black people. Now I know how Jesus felt. But anyways, Bridge, Dom, everybody in between, thank you for supporting We-On-Loc Nation. Oops, sorry about that. I gotta get some rest. Be by Sunday, Thursday for the wonderful live that we're going to have. Peace and love. Hope everybody has a great day the rest of your day. Peace.